Hello there guys, my name is Luke and welcome to my prediction of the National League for the 2017-18 season. So we will start at the bottom of the table with Solihull Moors in 24th place. Now I've put them there because they have lost their captain Liam Daly, they've lost Player of the Year Jack Byrne, they've lost Amari Sterling-James as well, and they've replaced them with a lot of players from lower league. They've brought in a lot of players from Stourbridge, so I just think they will struggle. In 23rd, I'm putting Boreham Wood. They've lost Morgan Ferrier. They've also lost Ben Nunn, two of their most important players from last season. In 22nd, I'm going to put newly promoted FC Halifax Town because they have not signed a huge amount of players since going up to the National League. In 21st, I'm going to put one of the big shocks of this so far, and that is Dover Athletic. They have lost a lot of their squad despite finishing in 6th last season. They've lost the majority of their good players, obviously the most notable one, Ricky Miller, leaving to go to Peterborough. But other than that, they've lost a lot of players and pretty much their whole squad's gone. In 20th place, I'm putting Guiseley. That'll be the 3rd season in a row that they have just stayed up, and I think the same will happen again. In 19th, I'm putting Macclesfield, another team that has lost a big part of its squad. They've made some decent signings to replace those players, as they always seem to do, but I think that they might struggle with the strength and quality in the rest of the league. In 18th place, I'm putting Maidenhead United because they were very, very good last season in gaining promotion from National League South, winning the league. They haven't made a huge amount of signings so far, but the biggest bit of business that they've done is kept Dave Tarpey. In 17th, I'm putting Sutton United. They've lost Rory Deacon and Maxim Biamu. They've signed a few good players as well, the likes of Kenny Davis. I'm impressed with him as a signing. In 16th, I'm putting Woking. They've got new owners and a new manager, so it'll be interesting to see how a completely unexperienced manager steps into that role. So I think that they will finish bottom half despite their increased budget. I'm going to put Chester FC in 15th place, and that is because they have made some good signings. Kingsley James, Andy Halls, Harry White. They're all decent signings, but they have lost Sam Hughes, who was sold for a big fee of £130,000 to Leicester. A great move for him, and it looks like James Alabi is going to be leaving as well, two of their best players. In 14th, I am putting Bromley. They finished in 10th last season, and they were probably one of the biggest overachievers last season, so I think they're going to finish a little bit lower this season, down in 14th. It'll be their first season on their brand new 3G pitch as well, so it might take a little bit to get used to for the players. In 13th, I have put Torquay United. They have made some absolutely impressive signings this season so far, to be fair. They struggled last season, only just stayed up, but the signing the likes of Josh Gowland, very experienced defender at this level, as well as Jake Gosling, brilliant player as well. They've made some really good signings. In 12th, I'm going with Maidstone United. They've been improving year on year for a long time now, so I think another season of improvement, finishing a bit higher in the table in 12th. After having a brilliant second half to last season, I think a mid-table finish for them this season. In 11th, I've gone with Gateshead. They lost Liam Hogan, their captain, as well as Gus Mafuta and Manny Smith. Three important players, so I think they're going to drop down from their 8th place finish last season. In 10th, I'm going with AFC Fylde. Danny Rowe absolutely bangs in the goals. He's gonna score a lot of goals next season. I think he's an outstanding player. I think that they will get into mid-table. I don't think they'll finish higher than that because of the quality of the rest of the league, but I think they will do quite well. In 9th is Eastleigh. They severely underachieved last season, and they're making signings in the same mould that they did last year as well, so they could finish a lot lower than this. They're bringing in a lot of really experienced players. They're not bringing in a lot of youth, which I think is the main downfall to Eastleigh. They bring in a lot of big money signings of players that have played in the Football League for a number of years, and they think that that is automatically going to guarantee them to finish in a good position, and it just doesn't. So they might fall into the same traps as they have in the last couple of years. In 8th, I'm going with Barrow. They've lost some players as well. They've lost Nick Anderton, who has gone to the Football League. They've lost Jordan Williams, who's gone to the Football League as well. They've lost Danny Livesey, who has gone to Salford. And it is really damaging the squads, sort of taking the key players from these non-league squads. But it's a case of how do they improve and how do they replace those players that have left. And we'll see if the improvements at Barrow do allow them to finish higher than they did last season, because I'm predicting them to finish just slightly below where they were last season. In 7th, I'm going with Ebbsfleet United. I've been so impressed with some of the signings that they've made this season. They've brought in the likes of Jack Payne, Miles Weston. Sam Magri. Some absolutely outstanding players that will no doubt succeed at this level. They've got a massive budget, so they could sneak into the playoffs, you never know. But in 6th, I'm going with Wrexham. Again, another club that has made some outstanding signings so far. Sean Pearson, one of the best signings of the transfer window so far, in my opinion. Centre-back who signed from Grimsby. Also bringing back Manny Smith, very good player at Wrexham in his first spell. As well as the likes of James Jennings coming back as well. I think they've made some good signings. They've still got a long way to go, but their squad is shaping up quite nicely. In 5th, I'm going to go with Aldershot Town. That's where they finished last season, and they haven't really lost any of their big players to Football League sides, which is always a good sign. They've been able to keep hold of all of their players, and their squad is very young as well, so it's always going to improve. It's not going to get worse, it's only going to get better for them. So I think another playoff finish would be good for them. They haven't made some incredible signings like some of the other clubs have, but keeping their squad together was the most important part, because it's a squad that got into the playoffs last year. In 4th place, I am going with Leyton Orient. I thought up until about a week ago that they were going to go be in a relegation fight, but with Nigel Travis coming in, very, very rich man, loves the club, lifelong Leyton Orient fan. He wants to get the club back to where it belongs up in the Football League, and I think that will happen very soon. This season is still going to be a season of transition. They've got a lot of negative things within the club that need to be sorted out first. But they've signed some good players. David Mooney, Charlie Lee, Jake Caprice. These sort of signings are players that really should be in the Football League. So they're statements of intent. And if they keep making these sort of signings before the start of the season, then they could finish in a decent position. But right now, I'm going to go with a 4th place finish. In 3rd, I am going to go with Tranmere Rovers. That is because they have not really signed a huge amount of players so far. I believe they signed one player in George Waring, the striker, who came in from Stoke, but that is pretty much it. They have let go of Lee Vaughan, who's obviously come to Kidderminster Harriers, my club, which I'm delighted about, as well as them losing Cole Stockton, who has gone to Hearts. But I'm a big fan of Mickey Mellon. I think he's an outstanding manager and he's going to do well at this level. I think another playoff finish for Tranmere, although they will be trying to win the league. I think that there are 2 teams in this league that right at this present moment have slightly better squads, but I'm happy to be proved wrong. In 2nd place, I am going to go with Hartlepool, who have just been relegated from the Football League. They brought in a brand new manager in Craig Harrison, who was the manager of the New Saints in the Welsh Premier League, as they smash the Welsh Premier League pretty much every year. He's brought in some brilliant players. Jack Munns, very big fan of him. They brought him in from Cheltenham Town. He was a big part of their promotion campaign a couple of years ago. Also, they brought in Ryan Donaldson. They've kept hold of Padraig Amond, who scored about 30-odd goals a couple of years ago to help Grimsby get to the Football League. So he was a big reason that they got through the playoffs. I think the Hartlepool can finish up in 2nd, but in 1st place, I'm going to go with Dagenham and Redbridge. I've changed my mind about who I think is going to come first quite a few times. The top 4 have all spent, sort of when I've been planning this prediction, they've all spent a period of time as my number 1 prediction. But right now, I'm decided, after thinking about everything, I thought I'm going to go with Dagenham, and that is because they've got John Still, who is a proven manager. He's won this league a couple of times before in the past, back when he was at Luton. He's now in his 4th spell at Dagenham. He knows the club inside out, and he's brought in some brilliant players. Brought in the likes of Morgan Ferrier and Michael Cheek, 2 of the best strikers at this level. There are rumours right now when I'm recording this video that Oliver Hawkins could be off to the Football League. But if they can keep hold of the likes of Corey Whiteley, who was incredibly important for them last year, then they, for me, will be the league title winners. Not just because of the squad, but because of the manager that they've got. He's got a proven winning record. Dagenham are going to be the team that I am going to guess will finish in 1st place. But do let me know in the comment section down below, which do you agree with? Who do you think is going to win the league? Who do you think is going to get in the playoffs? And who's going to be relegated? Let me know in the comment section down below. Are there any on this list that you massively disagree with? Because I'm sure there will be a lot of fans that will disagree with some of the choices that I have made. But this is just my choice. It doesn't have the opinion of anyone else but myself. This is just what I think is going to happen, and it's just a bit of fun for the start of the season. I'm expecting to fully be wrong when we look back at these at the end of the season, because last season's predictions were horrendous. I only got, I think, 2 correct, but hopefully I can do a little bit better this year. But who knows? You know, it's such a close league. It is so difficult to predict what is actually going to happen in the National League. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe, and thanks for watching.